Welcome back. Mid-cap IT is having a very strong session. So outside of the frontliners, you've got Nucleus Software, that's up 17%, where the management told us that with the cash that they have on the books of nearly 500 crore rupees, they could consider a buyback. Mastech has gained 7.5%. Emphasis is up nearly about 5%. KPIT Tech Persistent have gone ahead and hit fresh 52-week high. Strength seen on LTI Mindtree, L&T Technology across the board. You are seeing some big moves in the mid-cap IT names, and that's clearly the leadership sector today. But let's talk about Nestle, because they've reported a strong set of Q4 numbers. Margins were a big beat. Mangalam is here with the fine print. Mangalam.
Well, Nestle's fourth quarter calendar year FY22 calendar 22 numbers were rather better than estimates. In fact, it was an operational beat, and the revenue was mildly below expectations, led by mid-single-digit volume growth as against street expectations of 7 to 8% and that was perhaps on account of the price hikes that the company would have taken to mitigate the inflationary impact or the pressures that they had, and as a result of which the operational performance did much better. So if you compare it with what the street was anticipating, the revenues that they've posted is close to around 4250 odd crores. The street was working with a number of 4350 odd crores. So there was a 100 crore miss out there, but they more than made up for it with their operational performance. A 977 crore EBITDA versus expectations of 937 crores. That meant that the margins have actually expanded at around 23% versus expectations of 21.4%, and the bottom line was a mild beat, 628 crores versus 618 crores. And mind you, this was despite a 200 basis points decline in gross margins from 56.9% to around 54.9%. How is it that the company did that? Well, one, they took price hikes. Secondly, other expenses as a percentage of sales came down to 22% as well, from around 23.5%. Domestic business grew by about 14%. Exports, which is a smaller part of their business, grew by about 17%. For Nestle, the big trigger going forward will be, scaling up of the pet care business, Purina, that they've engulfed in their own vertical right now a couple of quarters ago. And the other one will be scaling up of their baby food business, which is Gerber. But importantly, for Nestle, it is also relatively less impacted by the slowdown that we're seeing in rural India, because majority of their earnings come in from urban, and for rural itself, they are expanding their distribution. So even if the same store does not buy too much, they are entering more stores. So as a result of which, the rural business grows for them too.
Thank you very much for